It's got a fun bunch of characters, but I think Miguel was my favorite. And I feel like, do you think, do you think you had the most fun playing him compared to all the other actors and their characters?
I I don't know.
Yeah, tough to say.
It's when you're playing a character who's kind of snarky and has a strong sense of sarcasm,
Right.
you have to find its root, and there's a lot of pain in that. So, and there's a lot of truth in that, but there's somebody like Miguel, especially when he was alive, he was a poet, and he was a heavy romantic, and that's what he regrets the most is the fact that the that's possibly unattainable for the rest of his death.
Right.
So
Right.
as he's walking around, the earth, by the powers that be of his lovely, beautiful wife, the witch.
Right. Right. Yeah. I say fun playing because the snarkiness. I just feel like he's always just keeping everyone on their toes, and it's just I think a lot of people can relate to that dynamic. Is uh supernaturalness aside, it's a lot of people are like that. So it was a great performance.
Oh, thank you very much. Wow.
Um, and had you worked with Danny Trejo before? Was this your first time?
This is my first time. I there are certain actors that I want to work with, and I go. I mean, he's a veteran actor, and I have worked with some of the great actors. Edward James Olmos was great. Luis Guzman. And I spent time with Benicio del Toro talking about his experiences working in the industry, and I thought that's another actor who I want to work with. And and I when I was given the opportunity to be working with Danny Trejo, and I thought, like, yeah, are you kidding, Machete? Of course. So and I had to, as funny as they say, you have to really think about what you want to bring to the table. And I go, well, let me take a look at the relationship they have with each other throughout the film as the story progresses. So it did remind me of Man La Mancha.
Oh
Uh,
yeah.
in such a way. And I thought, like, maybe this could be the beginning of something that will lead to well, without giving the story away, to for what it was and for what it becomes to be.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. That makes sense. Yeah. And this movie's a lot of fun. And another great movie, well, you were in a couple of them, the Crank movies. And I was just, I noticed it's been 15 years since the second one came out. You're able to be different characters in both of those. And I was curious what it was like coming back for this. I know it was so long ago, but if you remember what it was like coming back for the sequel, and if there's ever been talk about doing a third movie by chance.
Since you brought that up, there as was actually a talk about doing the third film.
Oh
Uh,
yeah.
I uh, I don't know if I'm legally allowed to tell you what the story was, but it was pretty intense. And to me, like my professor, her name was Dan Venora, and Diane would say, I was learning Shakespeare, and I would complain, go, why am I learning Hamlet? Why? And she would say to me, she goes, well, you could play Jose number 45, or you could be an actor to interpret these characters and find their root and find where they're really good at and what they lack and their lessons and their understanding about life so they could find out their higher selves. And I thought, oh, so now, even after like Napoleon Dynamite, you try to find something deeper within this framework of the story to explore these characters in such a way where they whether they learn the lesson or not,
Yeah.
they get the opportunity to be able to face conflict in such a way where the possibility is endless. So
Right. Yeah. Very cool. And since you mentioned Napoleon Dynamite, I understand there was a 20th anniversary tour. I wanted to ask you about how that went. And, that movie, I remember seeing it in theaters. I was curious, love to hear from you why you think a movie like that's so wonderful, why it's still so, ingrained in culture today.
I think Napoleon's so ingrained in people's minds today and for the past 20 years,
Yeah, yeah,
because um, it's relatable. You know, we all are in every way a specific character in a film like that because we're just trying to figure life out. And that's which kind of reminds me of Seven Cemeteries, because whether you're alive or dead, you're you know, life is an unsolved mystery that allows you to be able to cross a bridge to find a better understanding of yourself in relation to the world. If you do that, then there's going to be a way of enjoying life w- with community rather than having to go through things alone.
yeah. I
So,
agree.
and movie like Napoleon Dynamite allows that to happen because in that friendship that Napoleon has with Pedro, they help each other out with and make everyone's wildest dreams come true.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, well said. Was it fun being with the cast, all these years later on that tour?
Yeah, yeah, it's having to be able to see almost everybody together at the Sundance Film Festival for the 20th anniversary
Yeah,
was very nostalgic. You get that nostalgic feeling of joy
yeah,
and that magic that for us while we were working on it, we had no idea it was going to be a big hit.
yeah,
We just did what we loved and we loved what we did. So, and to this day, when I go on tour with John Heder and John Grice, the great John Grice,
yeah,
we are remembered uh, by the mystery of human behavior, and
yeah,
then to be able to see the audience in the masses of hundreds and you know these theaters all across the nation who are people who are dressed up as the characters. For me, I'm like, yeah, this is what it's about: being able to
yeah,
love art and the exploration of humanity.
yeah, exactly. Well, that's great.
Good
That's
comedy.
wonderful. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Of course. Well, thank you, Efren. That's wonderful to hear. And, congratulations again on Seventh Cemeteries and hope we can do this again.
Yeah, yeah.
Of course. All right. Take
Alive
care.
or dead.
Yeah, right, right. Yeah, of course.
All right,
All
see
right.
ya.
Thanks again. Take care.